Hi, today we're going to talk about personal space and energy. A lot of people out there, they don't seem to understand personal space and basically an energy field that surrounds people. They don't see it, or they don't understand it, or they do see it and they exploit it, and then they use it to their advantage, or they use it in a disgusting way, or they simply are in the nicest way saying that they're living their life asleep, and they're not conscious of the energy that they're wielding. They're not conscious of other people who are connected with energies and who will step in and react with their own energy. If you give someone something, they're going to give you something back, and they're not ready for that. A lot of people in this world, they are not ready to encounter someone who does not move in a normal way. A parkour master like myself does not move in a normal way in any sense, in any sense at all. Doesn't matter where you find me at any point in my day. Even when I'm unconscious and I'm in another realm, I do not move in that realm in the same way as other people do. And people are not ready to accept what they don't understand, and most of the time what they respond with fear, or they respond with ununderstanding, or they respond with frustration. It's actually more rare that people will look back at you and understand your energy without words. And so let's get into it. Let's talk about personal space and energy. For me, I know for sure that I am not a Wing Chun master, but that isn't to say that I haven't been learning about Wing Chun for about a decade now. So I'm finally coming into my own confidence about my understanding of Wing Chun, and coming into my understanding of Kung Fu in general and energies in general. And regardless of traditional teachings, I'm going to apply what I know. I'm going to make a move, and I am going to teach myself. And I don't need anybody's permission to do that. And if my soul is to suffer from the manipulation of energies without a father figure to guide me, then that will be my fate, because I don't have time for these exclusive Wing Chun schools, invitation only. I don't have time to wait for them to open their doors. They have their doors closed. They don't want the knowledge to get out. So in return, I have to get out there and teach myself. That's the way it is. And when they close their doors, they should be knowledgeable enough to know that they created that. They are creating what they see on the screen right now. So if they have a problem with that, come teach me a lesson, okay? So, moving on, what I know about Wing Chun energies is that we do not let our opponent penetrate into our energy. We do not let energies come into our space, because we are protecting ourselves. We are protecting ourselves and our energy from penetration. And without people being martial artists, without people being people who understand anything about energy, there are people out there, regular people, who walk this earth with their energy. Their universal energy, by the way. They are universally powerful. They just don't know it, and they don't cultivate that. They are universally powerful. I don't care who you are. They are universally powerful. Doesn't matter who it is. And they are commanding the entire power of the universe, and so are you. And so, when you meet anybody, there's a universal game going on. So, let's take an example of real life. This actually happens quite often. It happened yesterday. It happens at the grocery store. Let's say that this trunk here, this is a person. This represents their body. And this here This here is the edge of their grocery cart. Now, a lot of people don't understand that in Kung Fu, when we connect with any object, it becomes a weapon. So when we see a person with a grocery cart, and we see that they're connected to the grocery cart, we don't see the separate person. We don't see the person and the grocery cart as separate. We see the edge of the grocery cart as the edge of that human's energy. So there are people out there who have so little respect for themselves and their space, they don't believe that they deserve space. That's why they scoff at the idea of personal space. So they have so little respect for personal space for themselves and others that they will take their grocery cart and they will put it, this is my body and this is their grocery cart, they will put it as close, they will put that grocery cart as close to your trunk of your body as they can get away with. And they do not understand Kung Fu, but you do, and you're gonna have to teach them that you are walking Kung Fu. Everywhere you go, you are walking Kung Fu. You live it. Doesn't matter how good you are at it, you are living it. So when someone comes up and they put their cart right next to you, and they are on the edge of touching you, you get to be on the edge of them touching you. So that's their cart coming to touch you and to penetrate you, and this is what you have decided to put in the way. And it's funny, they understand that. In that moment, they understand that. When you put your hand out, when you put out anything in front of what they're connected to, and they see that, they stop. All it takes is putting one hand out, and they'll stop. But the thing is, they weren't gonna stop unless you did that. Unless you showed them that there was a barrier there, there was something that they could not penetrate, they were gonna penetrate it. And there are people who are walking around all of the time, penetrating energies, or there are people who are going to try to walk through you. They're gonna have people who are so used to people, there are people who are so used to people getting out of their way that their muscle memory is to literally walk through your body. And you can test this. If you can feel that someone expects you to move over there, and then you choose to, no, actually I'm going to ground myself and I'm going to stay here, and they expected you to move in the time they thought you were, so when they move to take your position that they thought that you weren't going to be in, it's actually them who bumps into you. And then they're going to think it's your fault because you didn't move quick enough. And that's the thing that people don't understand about parkour masters. It's not just about the movements that we can do. It's about the positions that we take and the positions that we hold and how we hold those positions down. When you are a parkour master and you can take almost any position you want, guess what that means? You can't go around pushing people around. You have the universal responsibility to protect others. You have to stand down and let other people make their move because they don't have your abilities. They can't run up the wall. They can't backflip out of the way of a car. They can't do what you can do. So you have to give them the space to make their choice. You already know what you can do. You already know. You don't need to prove it to anybody or yourself. You need to stand down and show people that it's their turn. It's their turn to make their move. You're gonna stay put right where you are, and you're gonna let them make the move. And sometimes people are upset. They're upset that, oh, it's your turn to make a move. No, actually, my move's right here. Go. Didn't you? Oh, you're driving a car? Didn't you have a place to be? Why don't you go? No, I see that you want me to cross the street in front of your car and you're in a hurry. But guess what? You're in a hurry. Just because you're in a hurry doesn't mean I'm gonna be in a hurry. I'm not gonna live my life that way. I'll stand here. I'll stand here for an hour if I feel like it. Go away. Drive on. See, that's the thing. You don't control the position of anybody. People think that they control the position of others because they move around and people react. But the truth is, people make their decisions where they're going to be and where they're going to go and at what speed. So you can tell who's who by who stands their ground. So I had a coworker just the other day who did not know me, who did not have any relationship with me, and he came up to me and he penetrated my energy like so. I'll be him. He came up to me and he thought that he was going to socialize me as one of his little bros, you know, someone he can push around. And he took his fist and he put it in his arm and he pushed me just like that. That kind of thing has quite a bit of consequences, actually, because that exposed the weakness in me. That showed me that I let my guard down for a person that I shouldn't have let my guard down. And I had to put that coworker in his place. And I put that coworker in his place in front of 4 other people. And when I did, no one said anything. Kitchen was dead silent. And now nobody touches me in that kitchen. Because they know they're going to get put in their place if they do. People tell me all the time, why don't you try to get along with people? I do. I do try to get along with people. But the problem is that you don't know that you're working alongside someone who has dedicated their entire life to movement, has dedicated their life to practicing different disciplines. You don't know that you're working alongside a parkour master who sees the world in a completely different way. You don't know that the person next to you is spending the next 40 years plus studying Kung Fu. You don't know that, and you don't care. You don't care because you're too busy talking about your children and your children's accomplishments when I'm over here never going to have children. And after you're done talking about your children, do you ever ask what I'm about? You do, sometimes, but as soon as I open my mouth and started telling you what I'm really about, you run away like a coward. I've seen it my whole life. So that's the life of a parkour master. You see a bunch of cowards all around. They don't want to know. Because the moment they know who you are and what you've gone through, it will reveal just how little they have done with their lives. And they can't handle that. So that's why they don't want to talk to you. That's why they don't care about anything that you've done. And that's why you don't tell anybody about what you do. You keep quiet, you hide, because they don't care. And as soon as you tell them about what you care about, they don't want to hear it and they run away like a coward. So they find out anyway. When they try to penetrate your energy and they try to push you around, they find out.